Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to Spectrum Art Creations. If this is your first time here, we'd like to welcome you. If you are one of our friends, thank you so much again for joining us. We are a mother and daughter team.
Creator.
That's right, we are a creative team, and we today have this really fun project for you guys. This is actually a continuation video, right? A process video tutorial from a craft along that we had done on our channel with some of our friends and subscribers. So this is a way for you guys to now be able to refer back to this video and make these over and over again. If you do not have this die and you would like to purchase it or any of the items that I used today to craft, I will be linking them down below in the description box. If you have never visited our online store, we hope that you do. It's spectrumartcreations.com. And we have lots of products from all around the world. So please do check it out. We would appreciate it. Also, let's talk about what we're doing today. So we're going to be making two versions of this for you today. We're going to be doing the advanced, and then we're going to be doing the beginner. I know it's kind of backwards, but at first we try to show you how to create this from using one single piece of paper to make not only the front, but also the inside of it. Then we went ahead and did a version where we just quickly put it together and simply use any image to cover the inside of the actual pocket reveal window. And if you're new, you're wondering, okay, great, what are you showing us? So what these are, they're super cute little, tag pockets. And when you look at them, you think, okay, that's cute, but here's the magic to it. Once you pull up on that tag, it's going to roll up and reveal your inside. Super cute, right? It's got this mechanism to pull up and reveal. And we left this one blank. You could put an image. You could put a sentiment. You have room to journal here, also on the back if you'd like. You could put a picture. As Madison had mentioned, you could put a gift card, a credit card, right? One of those reloadable cards. So lots of possibilities for these, but that's the magic to them. Now, the two versions are going to be available for you. I'll put a little blurb somewhere on here maybe to give you a time marker so you could skip forward to the easy version of this if you prefer to do that, because I'm also going to be showing you and reviewing one of the collections, which is phenomenal, and I'll do a quick flip through of that, so just in case you guys haven't seen it and want to see that. The other thing I wanted to mention is these are very versatile. Number one, you can use paper collections. You can use scrap pieces of paper because it doesn't take much to actually create these.
Also, can't you also use those little 6x6 paper pens?
Exactly. Yes, you can use your 6x6s. Perfect, Madison. You can use book pages. That's what this is actually. These are pages from Edith Holden, the book, and again, just about anything you have at hand. You can decorate them. You can put ephemera. You could use your eyelets. You could use charms like we did here on this one. You can use your brads. You can use seam binding. You can use twine, jute. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with these.
Little pieces of the
jewelry, yes, jewelry. You can pull apart your jewelry. Now, Madison had also mentioned, well, Mom, they have holes. Couldn't they be made into a book? Yes, they can. I hadn't even thought about that. So you can also use your rings or some seam binding or, and actually create them into books that you can flip out. So you could put different messages or photographs and make them into an album that way. But again, so many different ways that you can use these and so many different collections. You can do shabby, you can do grunge. Again, you can do a theme. You can make them look, you can actually have them facing, horizontal or vertical as well. They can reveal all kinds of fun stuff. Here's one that's actually vertical, and this one is from the Alice collection. And this is, again, the book page one. Now, after this video, I'm going to follow up with another bonus video because I have another thing that kind of was one of those aha moments. So Stay tuned. There'll be another video to follow after this one to share with you some other ways that you can actually maximize using this die. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. We hope that you will craft along with us today. And again, as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the description box. All right, here we go. Now that all the die pieces have been pulled apart, one of the things that I thought would make it a little bit easier to see on camera was if I actually cut everything in different colors, just so that we understand the mechanics behind it. Of course, once we've got the mechanics of it, all figured out, then we can go ahead and better understand what kind of papers we would like to see, how big of an image we're going to need for it to actually peek through the window. So let's go ahead and just cut all these out, and then we can actually come back and put it together and get a better idea as to how it's all going to work and look together. Okay, now the pieces are all cut, and like I mentioned, just having them in a different color is going to help us better understand what all these pieces look like, right? And how we can put them together. And this is just a prototype for us to be then able to understand, well, this is kind of the size that my hole is going to be, right? When my slider window, and you can see that, by the way, all the lines have been scored. So it's going to help us to be able to figure out, let me fold these this way so you can kind of get an idea. And then here as well, if it makes it easier for you, feel free to use your stylus tool or a ruler or a scoreboard, but it's pretty simple to just kind of score. And then of course we do want to burnish it down a little bit just so the paper behaves. Okay, so we now have an understanding that this is going to be, you know, where a window is going to pull back, right? So we know this is the kind of the size of the image that we're looking for. And that's why I like to create these templates. Also, if you make any boo-boos, or if you find that you actually have some areas that you could improve on, guess what? It's just plain cardstock, right? Or it's just, in my case, these are just scraps from other projects that I've done. So, you know, no worries. I don't have to worry about the fact that I just ruined the one piece of paper that I really, really wanted, you know, and now, oh boy, you know. So again, this gives me an idea as to the size of my pocket, the size of my window, the size of my tag. So when I'm looking for images, I know that it's going to have to go here, as big as this tag, and then as large as this little hole opening here. These are extra little pieces that they've given us to actually decorate here. And again, we can punch out 3. I just did the 2 just to kind of show you. They give you that size. Then you can even double layer them up if you want by adding a 3rd piece, right? See, that's a cool layered look, right? This is kind of funny. It looks very 80s. These are some bright colors, but I thought they would show very, very well on camera. So again, you could do it that way, or you can just omit and just do the smaller pieces if that's what you like, or only the larger ones instead. So you have lots of different choices, or you can choose not to use them at all and just use some eyelets, right? So we'll take a look at that once we actually get into designing, now that we understand how this is going to work, right? These, of course, are the reinforcers for your tag here, front and back. So we'll put those off to the side. We understand how that's all going to work. We understand how this is going to work. We understand how our opening, how big the opening is going to be, right? When it gets revealed. And now we have these 2 pieces. Now, these are kind of like little extras. Sorry, I'm having a hard time picking stuff up here. Okay, these are kind of like extras. You could use them to actually mat your tag, and even triple mat it if you like, right? You can also use the smaller one and cut a frame out of this one, right? So then you have like a little window in here if you wanted to cut that. So you could do several different combinations. Also, these just happen to be almost the same size, see that, as that one. Well, that one is smaller. This one is pretty much the same size. So could I also use this to, you know, fold in half and create little panels? I could. Could I make a smaller one and then create a layer look for my window? I totally could. So you see, this is why I like to kind of cut my things out so that I understand the mechanics behind it and start getting ideas as to, oh, I could use that for this, or I could use that for that. So now that we have those, I'm going to come back with some paper line collections. I don't know which one we're going to work with. We'll see what we have, right? And then I will be sure, of course, to always put all the links down below for all the materials that I am using. So you can go directly into the SpectrumArtCreations.com store and be able to create a similar project, or if you see anything that you like, you can also take a look at those as well. But let's go ahead and select some nice paper lines to work with, or use what you have in your stash. You might already have some bits and pieces. Obviously, it doesn't take a whole lot, guys, because these are just like tiny scraps. The biggest piece that you're going to need is going to be this one right here, and this is 4 inches by 5 and a little bit over 5.5. If I had to give you exact measurements, you would need a 5 5/8 piece of paper for this one, and that's the biggest piece that you're going to need to create this piece right here. Okay, all right, let's go look for some paper. Well, here's the pad that I've been wanting to work with for quite some time, a collection. I had done a few things with a couple of pages that I had, but I figured we'd just break into these really pretty pads. This one is called Collateral Rust from Ciao Bella. If you are not familiar with it, I'm going to do a quick flip through through the paper themselves. If it's not something that you want to see or you've seen before, you can feel free to skip right past this part, okay? But I'm going to kind of speed through it anyway. Gorgeous. Okay, so let's look through these and see what we're thinking. Maybe we'll, like I said, now that we've got all these prototypes here, we can decide, well, obviously we know that when it folds in, and this is why I like to do this. When it folds in, for example, this way, right? Oh, I'm sorry, this way. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We could pull this way or pull this way. But see, now I can kind of start, see why I like to do my templates? I can use this to kind of gauge, oh, that'd be kind of cool for, you know, maybe a guy's tag or card to do that. And then I know that this right here is going to end up being this piece here, right? So again, would it have text? Would it be upside down? That's the kind of things that you need to look for. Again, if I do this like this to show this piece right here, I know that this is going to actually, well, no, not that, I'm sorry. This is going to end up being my back. So I take that back, see? I got to think through it, right? This will be my back. Oh, which would be awesome. I'm already in love with like the first page, right? Okay, we'll keep flipping through and see what else jumps out at us. Oh, look at that, the word Dodge. That is so cool. Oh, okay, I'm excited about this. Look at that. And I'm not even like a car person, but this is phenomenal. Now see this, when I do this, this in the back is going to be upside down. Could I cover it? Of course I could. But just, again, we got to think, right? What do we plan to do with it? For example, even if this was upside down, we could cut one of these really cool little phrases and just put that in the back, right? So as our window reveals, then we would have one of these back there. That's another option. Let's see. What else can we find on here? So many things. Oh, goodness, yes. Look at all those great gears. Or maybe even these down here. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. And then for our back, we would end up with all of these cool gears here on the inside. For use as motor fuel only, contains lead. Look at that. That is so cool. I love it. Or the gas pumps. Okay. Very neat. Oh, and that brick would be awesome on the back. All right, I might love that. I just might love that. Oh, look at those. Look at this piece right here. With that hinge too. Or just that. Ooh. Looks gorgeous. And that on the inside. Okay, there's a lot that we can do, guys. This is super exciting. So many things that we could have. Oh, Route 66. Look at that. Right through the window, right? And again, that's just going with just paper. Not that we couldn't find images and messages, you know, that we wanted to peek through, excuse me. Oh, look at that. That is so cool with the black. I love that. just all those random numbers with all those like rusty elements. So cool. Now our numbers here would end up being upside down, right? Because this is going to be our back. So we'll end up with these numbers here upside down, which again, we can cover if we want to. If we're in love with something like this, we don't have to not commit to using it. We could just one way. Ah, that's awesome. One way. Freedom, Route 66. Oh, look at this cool console right here from a motorcycle. Motorcycle, yes, I see the seat. Exit. And again, who's to say that our tag couldn't go this way, right? And we just pull our tag this way right here. The pocket could most certainly be standing up vertically, not horizontally. So again, lots of different choices. Let me go through this. Okay, I wanted to point out a couple of things before we actually get to die cutting. Now, if you're going to actually maybe cut a frame that is a solid color, nothing that I'm saying is going to apply. If you're cutting something that's maybe got polka dots or stripe, in other words, something's neutral, something with little florals, okay, none of this is going to apply. However, if you're cutting out something that you want to specifically face a certain way, you're going to have to think about it backwards. What do I mean by that? This is going to be our back piece, right here. However, when we place the die, you'll notice that the blades are going to be facing up, right? And then the flat, which doesn't cut, is going to be facing the wrong way. So I can't possibly put this through my cutter this way. I got to actually think to bring my die towards the back and then know that then this is going to be, I'm hoping I'm making sense. This is going to be my center piece, and this is what's going to fold over it, right? I hope that makes sense. Let me try it a different way. So I can, for the sense of orientation of making sure that I'm going to cut right, or at least I'm going to try and cut right. Again, if I get this wrong, we're learning together, right? So let's do one together. Let's say this is what I want to be in the back, and I know that when this folds over, this is, oops, this is going to be my front. Okay, so what I think I'm going to try, we're going to try this together. Let me think about it again. Yes, and again, this is just me working things the hard way, because you could totally just cut whatever and then just cut this piece out and mount it right on this back and not even have to worry about anything that I'm saying as well. But I'm just going to try and do it all in one cut and do it the hard way. Just in case. Oh, and there's another thing I got to think about. Where is this hole going to open? I cannot possibly center this because remember, we have all of this lip, right? And then we have all of this. We're going to open. When this shade pulls back and opens, it's not going to lay flat. It's going to, probably end about there. So I want to give it, I don't want it centered perfectly. I'm going to have to go more towards my left. Remembering that this is my margin. See, this right here, that is this cut right here. Right? So my window is going to be like this. That's what I kind of want to think about when I'm placing and measuring the paper where I'm going to cut it. And I can use, again, my handy dandy template to help me with that, to center that. Approximately. Nothing's going to be perfect, but we're going to try and get it somewhat in the middle. I think that's good. Oops, I just snagged it again. Hang on. Let's try it. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. but art, right, hardly ever is. Art is art. All right, and you notice, see, I have a very narrow window here on this side, where on this side, oh, let me make sure I'm doing that right. Hold up. Yes, where on this side I'm going to have more of a space. All right, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Here we go. Again, it's just paper, guys. So this is not a crisis. We got this. All right, so those are some really, really rough markings. So I'm going to go cut that, come back, and we'll run it through. Okay, so here we go. Well, let me move these out of the way so we can look at this together. Where were we? We were doing, hold up, I got to think about this way. So technically our die should be this way, but again, we cannot cut that way, so we have to cut from the back. How does that look? I think that looks pretty good. Let's look at our opening again, line up those holes. I think that looks really good, guys. All right, now we're going to take this and we're going to mark here at the bottom that we know we're going to be somewhere around this hinge, right? And I'm just kind of doing it hard so I can kind of score it and get a good idea. And again, this is just me doing things the hard way, guys. You don't have to do this the hard way at all. Let me get some washi really quick, just to kind of hold this in place. And we'll make a run for it and see what happens. And if it didn't work, we can always scratch that idea and go back to just doing it the easy way, right? I need new plates. My poor plates have had it. They're cracked and they're warped and they've been used a lot. So, all right, we ready for the moment of truth? Did it work? Did we do it? Let's see. Let us find our score line. Oh, it's a little harder on this paper, huh? Hold it. There it is. I see it now. This paper, so, oh, that's so pretty. Uh-oh, we'll get that down. And then let's fold our window and see what it reveals. Are we upside down? I think we're good. Well, look at that. That is so cool, guys. And for just eyeballing it, that wasn't too bad at all. We got that Chevy symbol, right? Look, right, almost perfectly aligned. And again, it didn't have to be perfect. Yay! Okay, so that again is me just working things the hard way. Trying to just use one piece of paper just because I wanted to try it. We don't have to do it that way at all whatsoever. We can actually cut our pieces, like cut just this, worry about this, and then cut whatever we want to put on the inside and just cut that, right? That's as simple as that. So we'll do, we'll finish this one this way, and then I'm going to come back and do some other simpler ones, if that makes any sense. But I wanted to just kind of show you, if you wanted to do it all in one shot, that it can be done, that it just takes for you to just give it a little bit of thought and how to actually reverse the die when you do that.
And here's a single-sided collection. Now I'm going to be using, in this case, see, they're single-sided. In this case, I'm going to be using these two since we have not used them. Once again, these are optional. You don't have to use them. They're great because they're nesting dies, right? So if you ever want to cut windows out of something or make a specimen, you have these available to you. But we'll use them because they were included. All I'm going to do is run these through, cut them out, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to actually glue it all down. All right, now that the pieces are cut out, we are going to put this together. So very, very simply, just like what we've done before, you can see the score line. So we're going to just fold at the score line. And by the way, this is a new camera, in case you can't tell. I had to wait for the new camera to come in because the other one just kept clunking out. And so, yeah, I kind of just, and again, there's another crease line, another fold line on the flap. Yeah, it just kept, hiccuping. And so I just kind of gave up and decided to wait for the new one to come in. So now all I'm doing is making sure that my holes look nice. They're nice and lined up. Kind of making sure of that before I commit. I think sometimes the easiest way to line it up is by looking at those holes. It kind of gives you, a good guide on how to fold even though you have your crease lines. Okay, so we've got that. Here's a little flap. We can decide whether we want to glue that flap to the back or whether we want to tuck it in and glue it so that it's hidden. It all depends, whichever you prefer. We, of course, are going to fold here in the center. Once again, we've got a fold line provided for us. And then here at the bottom, we've got another little fold line right there. We're going to flip that one up. So it's going to look like that. Okay? Okay. So now that we've done that, we've got that ready. We've got our tag ready, right? We know that this is going to slide in and out. Now we're just going to decide if we want to add these pieces on the inside, because we can, or whether we want to add them on the outside, whether we want to maybe use a smaller one. Totally up to you. I purposely left this blank on the inside. I'm going to try and pick, I'm trying to think of what color I can pick in here so that you can easily see. I almost want to leave it white, to be honest with you, just so you guys could see this part of it easily. But all we're going to do is take this edge right here and bring it up to this edge right here. So we're going to stop right there, almost where it wants to actually stop by itself, right? But you see how wonky that is? You don't want to glue that down that way. So let's pretend that this was closed. You want to make sure that it's straight, that it's centered, and that it kind of clicks and stops itself right here. What I do, here, let me fold mine, is I kind of pinch here and then see how it kind of stops it from going any further. So I do that so that it stops, and then I look at it. See, that's still no good. Look, got too much on one side. So that's the only thing to kind of look for when you do that. And there you go. See, it just takes 2 seconds to center it. So again, I'm going to distress. I'm going to maybe find a piece for the back because it does look kind of ugly, right? Obviously, that's one of the focal points when you reveal and you pull out, is to actually have it show something pretty, maybe a message or something like that on the inside. Maybe we'll do that. We'll find a message to put in there. But I'm going to distress, add my focal point, and then you're going to see me put this all together, okay? But I wanted to make sure that you guys knew up to what point you want to stop and then what this flap is for. Okay, now with everything distressed, because you do want to distress before you put it together. Otherwise, there's not going to be any way to get this right along the edges in there. So now that that is distressed, what we are going to do is, well, I did find a piece that I want to put back here. Once again, that's just an option because you don't have to. This piece is meant to fit perfectly in there to cover that hole, that window. Here, let me align it. See? It just fits perfectly in there. However, I figure, why not, layer it up some more. Also, this piece fits perfectly right there at the top flap, right? Minus the folding mechanism. So that's another option. This one, of course, also fits up here beautifully, but now it gives us a little border right around the outside. So I think I might do that. I want to do this, but I want that little green to show a little bit. So I'm just going to take my scissors and kind of just trim this. And I'll have to re-distress it. And let's see if that's enough for the little bit of green to just show. I figure, well, since we have it back there, we might as well show it off, right? And there you go. Okay. Now remember, this side is not going to show at all because the blind is only going to go up to about there, maybe a little bit less, depending on how much you want to pull on it. But that's just enough for a little bit of green to show, to kind of tie it in with the green in the front and tie it in with the green on the tag. Okay, so that's just another idea of how you can play around with all the pieces and decide what works for you. In my case, I think I'm going to cut this in half. I could just put it on there and it'll just nicely fold, but I don't know. I think I might like it with a little gap in the middle. So let's do that. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, we'll cut another piece, right? These are just little scraps that I found. Believe me, it was actually kind of hard to find, believe it or not, single-sided paper. Not a lot of companies make single-sided papers anymore unless they're doing something special, like, you know, when Stamperia releases, you know, an Alice, and then because it's so pretty on both sides, they actually have to, see, I kind of like that little gap in the middle. So I think we'll do that. All right, now, what is the next thing to do? We need some adhesive. Sorry about my voice. It's a little bit froggy in the morning. So we want to obviously glue down anything that we need on the inside. So we're going to start with this. I made sure that I had a piece that did not cover the holes. If it covers the holes, that's perfectly fine. Let's say that you're working with a really thin paper and you want to reinforce that back. You can cover the holes. Just make sure you re-punch them out, right? You can use your crocodile for that. So let's glue this down. And probably the tape runner would have been a lot faster. Or some double-sided tape, but that's okay. This is at hand, and so we're going to go with it. Again, this one. The other one, we kind of walked through the process of, you know, doing it the hard way. This one, we're just putting it together really, really quickly. See, it's not perfect. It's not straight. We're not really going to see that. It's going to be on the inside. The only thing I do want to make sure is that this is nice and even, which I have a little bit of a sliver here. I'm going to trim that off. And then the other thing I want to do is, see, this is going to show at the top. So I do want to distress that as well before I close it. Again, all of these details need to be done before we actually close. Okay, that looks great. Now we're going to take this blue panel that we had cut down. Let's flip this up so that we can actually see what we're doing. It won't hurt it. Again, I'm not minding this side. What I'm looking for is all these three sides right here to make sure that that's going to be centered. And if you wanted more of the border to show, you could cut it down some more. I just wanted a little bit of that edge of that green backing to show. You do want to make sure that this is well adhered because you don't want anything snagging on the tag, right? Or the mechanism when it's opening and closing. And this is why it's great to work with it like this when it's open, because you have full control on what you're doing. You can see it all, you can manipulate it before it's all put together. Okay, simple as that. That's what it's going to look like. Okay, now we are ready to close if we'd like, right? So let's put our glue down on the bottom. And let's put the glue on the flap. I'm going to tuck the flap on the, what did I do with the other ones? I did them on the inside. Well, let's do it on the outside. I think I've done half and half. Yeah, I actually finished the other ones, like I mentioned the camera kind of gave. So I'll have to show you those in replay. Okay, let's make sure that that is nice and glued down. Oops, and burnish that down. Okay, we're good. Golden. Now comes the tag mechanism. We're going to insert the tag just like we had discussed. We're going to make sure that it actually stops right. It kind of almost wants to catch all by itself, see? Especially if you pinch it right here. We're going to make sure that it's centered. Give me 1 second because it's kind of hard to stay in frame, and All right, there we go. It looks centered. I've got about the same on both sides. It looks good here. I'm going to just hold on to that. I'm just going to apply adhesive to this tiny little flap right here. And then we're going to bring that down and just press. That's it. There's no thinking, there's no measuring, there's no concerns as to whether it's going to hold or not. Don't worry about that little, don't worry about that little, tent effect. It will flatten out, as you'll see in the other ones. Especially once you put it in an envelope as a gift, or if you put it in a journal, right? Okay, we're going to glue our little panels on here because they're going to look cute. Oh, I forgot I was going to do a sentiment. Well, we can still do it. Or better yet, you know what? I'll leave it blank. And when the time comes, we'll know what sentiment to put on there, right? Because we don't know what we're going to be using it for as of right now. Or who we're going to be gifting it to, or what we're going to be doing with it. Or maybe if the recipient wants to do something with it, right? So this is just another idea on how to use all the different pieces that come in the die set. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it, making sure that I stay away from, see that fold? Making sure that I do not put anything on that fold, but enough in the middle to kind of show those two little window panels. Oh, how adorable. Now we're going to have to do one with shutters. See? That is such a cute effect to do one with shutters. And there you go. All right, we need to go ahead and do some reinforcers. We also need to decide what we're going to do on the bottom. And again, on the bottom, you have lots and lots of choices. Let me show you the ones that we've done because I didn't finish showing you because the camera kind of gave. But I've added some eyelets to this one because, of course, we've got all that nice metal, right? That was the motorcycle one. And I did use some triple thick on that little placard. So there's that one. The same thing here. I did the triple thick so that we could actually, or the glossy accent, so we could actually look like glass was on the gear piece. And there's the Chevy one. We did, this one was the Fiesta one. On this one, what I did was I inserted some brads. Okay. What else have we done? We did one that opens up this way. This one is done with Edith Holden paper. We actually did this one during the actual class that we did with the die, right? I believe, no, I did the Alice one, so I'll show you that one. I might have done both. I don't remember, I'm sorry. But this one's done with Edith Holden paper, which was backed up, see, with black cardstock. It is meant to be adhered on a journal or on a page, and that's why if you notice, I did the pocket on the flip, the little glue on the outside. So again, you can do it either or. It does look clean if you do it, I think I did another one on the outside. Oh, these are all on the inside. I thought I had done another one. You can make it look cleanly if you do it nicely. This one, I didn't care because I was going to glue it down. And again, I wanted to reinforce the paper. I did I used the ephemera also from the Edith Holden. I just cut out the butterfly. And then on the inside, we did a card. So a little image of a bird. So that is that one. So you can use your book pages. And then this is the one that I believe I did during the class, which is an Alice in Wonderland one. And I'll do some still photos at the end. But on this one, I actually hung chains and, and keys and other embellishments. And then it just slides up to reveal Alice going through the door, right? Okay, so you can see several different versions of it. You see how well and easy it kind of just goes together. You could go with any theme. You guys pick your favorite themes or whatever papers you have at hand. If you guys have any questions, please be sure to leave them down in the comments, as well as some ideas. Again, make sure you use seam binding, and you can use yarn, you can use metal pieces, you can use brads, you can just leave them blank and use some twine. It's a world of options, guys. And of course, you're going to make it your own.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for putting up with all the little hiccups, right, with the camera. Hopefully this is a much better picture as well for you guys. And then once again, please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear back from you. Don't forget to subscribe and to leave a thumbs up if you have enjoyed the video, which we hope you had. And let us know what other tutorials you'd like to see. Thank you so much. You guys have a blessed day. Bye.